They're just on the Tyndall Air Force Base property. This is down toward the Tyndall drone runway. That's on that stretch of Highway 98 from Tyndall that goes down to Mexico Beach. That's where the eye wall appears to be, just offshore. Is this the most recent
No, it's coming
image?
around.
Oh, there we go. There's the most recent image.
We'll zoom down to Tyndall.
Yeah, so there's the DuPont Bridge. That's Highway 98. Tyndall Air Force Base flight line's right about there. This is where all the housing is. And they've gone to Hurricane 1. They've gotten out of the, and that's Highway 98. So there you see how the lightning is popping up here just recently within the eye wall, indication that there's tremendous thunderstorms circulating around this, the eye of the storm. At this time, it looks like we've got about 15 miles, and we noticed that the hurricane force winds probably go out about 15 to maybe 30 miles. So in this core, in this eye wall, and there's a no sweep of the radar. So the eye wall is right now on that Crooked Island area. So Shell Point is back over here. This is Redfish Point, and then Tyndall. So the eye wall is right on the coastline. The eye is just offshore. This is wind that's going to be north of 100 miles per hour. Gusts are going to be well in excess of that. And we know that sustained winds through the hurricane reconnaissance were at 150. So here's the data, the velocity data. And so we're looking at this, this is probably pretty representative. We've got 132, 140. 140 is probably going to be the max on that. And this is probably 140 in here. I just got a feeling that that's what this is over here. It's just part of the color table that isn't scaled to match this wind. But typically, and you see just on the edge of it, we're in the 130s. My feeling is that this wind is even stronger, and that's why we can't see it. We're going to continue to stay on. We're going to take these hits. If we're still up, we're still up. If you're watching us, you're still watching us. We're still with you, okay? But here's a look at what's going on with this wind. So all of this is 130 plus. Coming in, Mexico Beach, Tyndall Air Force Base, East Bay, the Allenton shipyards, the Sandy Creek area, Mill Bayou, and then over toward Plantation Point, Callaway Point, and then over to Callaway itself. That is your zone where the strongest winds will hit first. So East Bay.
Hey, Justin.
Yes.
We just got a report of 87 from Apalachicola. So 87 being officially reported in Apalachicola, and we're getting close to that here too. We've had gusts up near 70 miles per hour already.
Sam and Jordan, when you watch that the Davis anemometer, if you see something pop, just yell it out. Okay. All right. All right, at Tyndall Air Force Base, which, if you know the code is PAM, like ECP is the airport, Northwest Florida Beaches. Tyndall is KPAM, so that's here at Tyndall on the flight line. At Apalachicola, there were wind gusts. What was it? 80 at Appalach? Yeah, wind gusts at 80 at Appalach.
87.
87 miles per hour.
87.
Do me a favor. Get down here to Apalachicola on the Viper and go to the velocity product, and let's see what that looks like as we sample the velocity over Appalach. Now the airport's right about here, just to the west of downtown Apalachicola. So in that area, so it's pretty close. Look at that. So here's this is the takeaway. We've got a wind gust to 87 at Apalachicola, and we're measuring the wind and the velocity product here, the storm winds, at 80, pretty close. So it's not like it's 80 there and it's not down at the surface. So let's come back over to the eye wall. We're measuring winds with the same velocity product north of 130 miles per hour. We're at 140. There's probably stronger wind in that. So don't discount the fact that these are accurate. There's 141 right there. 136 over land. I got a feeling within the next update at Tyndall Air Force Base. Hey, look up, it's the Tyndall drone runway. I think it's TDR. They also have an ASOS there that doesn't necessarily. But there's also one just down the road at TDR. It's a little bit further down, TD with a TDR. That is closer to that section of the eye wall. Winds here at the studio are are ferocious. I'm sure they're ferocious at your home if you're in Bay County. You folks in Jackson County, you folks in Walton County, Defuniak Springs, this is not coming to you, okay? Just want to let you know that. Now that we see the final approach of Michael, you folks in Destin, you folks in Defuniak Springs, I'm not saying the weather's not going to be bad, all right? And embedded in these lines of rain could be tornadoes. Don't discount that. But the core of the 100-mile-per-hour plus winds are not going to be West End. They're not going to be Destin. They're going to be Panama City, down to Mexico Beach, down to Port St. Joe. That's the core of the 100-mile-an-hour, well, actually more here, where the 100-mile-an-hour plus is there, okay? So I'm not telling you to let your guard down in Walton County. Do not do that. Don't do that until this thing is out of Georgia. But what I'm saying is that the strongest part of the wind, the strongest part of the storm is southeast Bay County, northern Gulf County, up into Calhoun County, and parts of, obviously, Apalachicola Valley, Apalachicola, which has nearly 90-mile-an-hour wind gusts within the last 15 minutes. All right, so that's something we do not let your guard down. Now, this is the radar site. That's not another storm up there, okay? This is our storm. This velocity product it's starting to fill in. It doesn't look the same. It's interesting. This is storm relative? Okay.
Storm relative.
All right.
Storm relative velocity.
I take that. Okay.
So this is the motion in the cloud.
Right. And taking into account the motion of the storm?
Of the storm as well, yeah. So it's taking into account the forward motion of the storm and then the motion of the cloud. So what we're looking at with 84, we're talking that our updrafts are rotating around the center at 84 miles per hour. That's what we're measuring there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you have to do. The tangential velocity of the storm, the speed of the storm, you can actually add to the wind speed as it comes in. There's a little component. It's a small little component. Our lights are trying to stay on here, and we're trying to stay up as much as possible. We're still up. As long as I get confirmation we're still up, I'm going to go even if we go completely dark. All right. So you put the velocity, no, not the velocity, oh, there you go, 140. Yeah. So still looking at 140 offshore. So that's a sampling. It is not, don't take these numbers lightly. And we're not just clicking them on here just to show you the velocity. We're showing you that this is not yet to the coastline, but it is right on the coastline. And the eye of Michael is just offshore. So we are in the core of the eye wall. So Panama City, you're here. So the wind is ferociously blowing in. Lynn Haven, it's coming in from the northeast, 50 to 60 miles per hour. Down toward, right at the Callaway, Parker, Springfield area, it's coming in. You look at it, it's at 20 to 30, then jump down just a mile or so, and we're going to be 60 to 80. Look at that, 70 to nearly 80 miles per hour. So just to the north of the bays, just up Highway 77, you're not feeling the wind that we're getting here right now. I guarantee you that. We're getting winds here downtown Panama City that are pushing, what's the latest wind there? It's about 60 miles per hour, even higher. So here is what we're doing. We're watching Michael, and it's going right towards southeastern Bay County, northern Gulf County. Now, it's not going to stop at the coast. So you folks in Bluntstown and Bristol, do me a favor, Ross, if you would draw a distance calculator from Bluntstown, right here where my finger is.
Yep.
And draw it toward just to the eye wall. So down here to where the lightning strikes are, right there. So that's 48 miles. Is it still moving northeast at about 15? Is
northeast at 15 was the latest.
So, so 15, that's 1 hour. That's 2 hours. That's about 3 hours. Current time is 11:45. So 3 hours from now, central is 3:45. So you're going to be in all this heavy rain and some wind for 3 hours. Then this hurricane force wind gets there. Now, it will diminish a little bit, but not completely. And so it's going to continue to move northeast toward southeastern Bay County and up into Calhoun County. So you folks in Liberty County near Bristol, in Bluntstown, you are to continue to hunker down and be ready for this. It's 3 hours before it gets to you. You folks in Mexico Beach, if you're hearing me and you're in place, be safe. The storm the motion continues at about a 15-mile-an-hour clip. It continues to pull northward, northeastward, and it is right on the edge of Bay County. That's Michael, Category 4 hurricane, strongest ever to hit the Panhandle, ever. Now moving northeastward and hitting Bay County. We're zooming on in here to show you some of these land points. There's Lynn Haven, so that's Highway 77. It comes into MLK, turns into Cove Boulevard. And then as you go down Business 98, that comes out here, sort of in this, next to the Mills and Parker, right on the edge of Panama City into Parker. And then that's the DuPont Bridge. So then Highway 98 through the Tyndall Air Force Base. So the flight line's right about here. That ASOS, that reporting station at
reported a wind gust of 106.
106 mile per hour reported in Port St. Joe.
At the Gulf County Emergency Operations Center, they just reported a wind gust of 106 miles per hour. Now, they zoom it out. Let me show you where Port St. Joe is. This is Port St. Joe. All right, they don't have a heavy rain band anywhere near them. They're in that lull period, but they're in the eye wall, and they're in that core of the hurricane winds. So 100-mile-an-hour winds now have hit the coastline. Port St. Joe, Cape San Blas, down to the Stump Hole area. The Stump Hole area is right about here. Water's already washed over that. Parts of Cape San Blas are underwater, okay? And we're watching the 100-mile-an-hour winds at Port St. Joe, wind gust, but still it's a 100-mile-an-hour wind. And then right along the coastline, I'm sure Mexico Beach is feeling the same thing. In that southeastern corner of Bay County, there's a tremendous amount. We're showing some rotation in that eye wall. Our Viper shear markers, this just indicates where there's rotation. Now it's hard to say, since it's on that radial, that axis there, I'm not quite sure that, you can drop, drop those off. It doesn't matter, all right? The eye, the indications are that there's 100-mile-an-hour winds. We're sampling the atmosphere here, sampling the radar data, and we were seeing 90, and we had that wind gust, and then, boy, just on top of the St. Joe Peninsula, wind in the clouds at 134. And then you see as we go along. And go back to the radar data real quickly, just the reflectivity. So once again, Bay County, Gulf County. I want to take you outside. This is a live picture right now, downtown Panama City. This is Harrison Avenue. We're looking northward, looking up North Harrison Avenue. Sheets of rain are blowing in. You see the trees just going crazy here. You see that? There's debris in the road, palm fronds that rip off the palm trees. These trees are going crazy. Out over the parking lot across the street. So these winds are a tropical storm strength and up. 60, close to 70 here so far on the rooftop?
Yeah, nearly 70.
Yeah. And the eye wall is not quite here just yet. And so again, we're looking northward up Harrison Avenue. The wind is coming from the east in this direction, and that's the front edge of our building here in downtown Panama City.
The sign in front of our building just got ripped off.
Oh, go back to the video, please. Go back.
The sign is gone.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So this is a marquee sign. There's a marquee sign out in front of our building that says who we are. I just moved away. Right there.
There's also a gas station on 231 over by the mall where it basically has toppled over the overhang. Yeah. I saw that on our Facebook. That was posted.
231 and by the mall?
Right by the mall, yeah.
So,
So probably like 77 and 231-ish.
well, there's
The tree down.
There's not
That's a tree down right there. He just drove around.
Oh,
it
yeah,
the
you're
road.
right. You're right. Right here past the bank.
Yeah, that's a tree down right there in the road.
Yep.
Right there. The gas station by the mall would be up more on 23rd Street. The closest one to the mall is a little bit further down on 231 in Harrison. So this is the conditions that we're seeing in Panama City right now. And it is worse. It is worse at Tyndall. It's worse at Mexico Beach. And look what we're seeing. Now, we've got reporters who are you said that Kirsten was live? All right. Do you want to take her now, or do we want to stay with this? You make the call. There's our sign. Then where is it? You know, that might be part of it across the street. I guess. I think that might be part of it right there. Who knows?
Wow.
That's why you board your windows. When stuff comes flying off, it's a projectile at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. There's that tree down that's right across Harrison, or at least debris. All right, we're going to go live. Where is Kirsten? Tell me. Okay, at the Bay County Emergency Operations Center, we're going to go live, and we're going to get the latest information coming out of Bay County. Kirsten, it's to you.
Hey, Justin. Yeah, we just got an update at 11 from officials about this storm. And midway through the news conference, the power actually went off for a few moments. Then a generator kicked in. Really just shows the impact of the winds already hitting our area. And we were just talking about storm damage we're already seeing. Let's see here. They're stressing evacuees not to return until the coast is clear. The Bay County Sheriff's Office will be conducting a damage assessment as soon as possible, as soon as they can get back on the roads. But the Sheriff's Office has pulled all their deputies off the roads because it is too dangerous for them to be out. Chief Bowen, he spoke as well, and he said a good point that you don't want to survive this storm by evacuating only to come back and get trapped on the roads, because there could be a lot of fallen debris on the roads for quite some time until crews can clear the roads. And they also said that they're looking at this whole experience as a learning experience. They're going to take the lessons they apply this time and apply it to future storms, because this is so monumental. A Category 4, they're all calling this very catastrophic. And they're also just asking for patience at this point. You know, if you haven't evacuated, to really huddle in, shelter yourself, do not go outside, and, you know, just have patience until the coast is clear. That's all we got right now from the EOC. We'll give you an update as soon as possible. Reporting in live in Southport, Kirsten Mitchell, back to you.
All right, thanks so much there, Kirsten Mitchell, live at the Bay County EOC. Our coverage continuing here, live coverage on News 13. I'm Jerry Brown, along with Amy Hoyt. As the storm here, the storm we talked about so many hours last night, building up to it, the time is here.
It is here. We showed you a few moments ago, Justin did, that our cameras out front, even our sign on Harrison Avenue that says WMBB has been torn off, and this thing's just starting.
One
it
good
sounds
thing,
like a freight
though,
train.
some of our folks retrieved part of the sign, so it's not totally blown away. They did get part of it. So.
Good news for that.
But,
a quick shout out to Chris Marchand and Kelly Grossfield. They spent 10 hours on the desk bringing you a lot of information as this started to hit, and we appreciate them so much. We wanted to give them a break, so Jerry and I are going to take over for a little bit now.
That's right. Let's right now go to our phone line. I understand we have Gulf County Sheriff Mike Harrison on the line to kind of give us a perspective over there in his area. Sheriff, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, Jerry.
Can you give us an idea of what you're experiencing right now? I know it's the same thing right here in Bay County, but what can you tell us?
Well, we've got a lot going on all over Gulf County right now, as well as what you've got going over your way. We've got extensive amount of trees down right now. It appears that our wind is about to shift from out of the west, so we expect some more trees down. We don't have a tidal surge here yet that I'm aware of, but I believe that's probably going to be coming soon.
All right, now, Sheriff, the winds are really picking up here, so you must have the same thing as you're talking about. Are your folks still in? Like, they can't drive and help people in these conditions, correct?
Exactly. We pulled all emergency medical folks in probably 2.5 hours ago, and law enforcement had to pull in probably maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. So right now we cannot respond. There's no way to get there. We've got so many trees across the roads here. There's no way to get to somebody if they do need help right now.
And along that line, Sheriff, anybody listening and watching this coverage right now, don't attempt to try to get out in this weather at all. It's not the time to do that.
No, sir, not at all. It's rough over here right now, and we're still not through the worst of it.
All right, Sheriff, I had spoken to a gentleman, resident of Port St. Joe, had called the station earlier, and I happened to answer the phone. We were just talking about the weather and what to expect and all that. And he had stayed home. Do you think a lot of folks did that, or do you think most got out and evacuated?
Unfortunately, Amy, I think there's still a lot of people here that decided to wait it out. I pray for their safety, but I'm not sure if that was the best move.
All right, Sheriff Mike Harrison, is there anything else you want residents to know who may be listening from Gulf County at this hour?
Please listen for tonight. Our winds are going to get out of here, and it's probably going to calm down about the time the sun goes down. Please do not get out. We do have a curfew in effect here until further notice. It's not the time to go sightsee. We're going to have to get in here in the morning and do some damage assessments before we can deem the area safe and allow people to get back to their homes.
All right, Sheriff Mike Harrison in Gulf County, thank you so much. Please be safe and keep us posted if we need to share any more information to your audience there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, Sheriff. All right, at this time, we're going to take you north. Jackson County, News 13's Ashton Williams is standing by up there as the storm continues to come in on shore and then continue on its path. And Ashton is standing by to give us a live update from Jackson County. What do you have for us, Ashton?
It's not going to be good, Ryan, because it's fogged up. I know.
That's right, Jerry. I am at the Emergency Management Center here in Jackson County, and as everybody else is saying, yes, we are under a curfew as well. 7 a.m. tomorrow, yes. And at this point, first responders are not even on the roads anymore. They are sheltered. That's exactly what all of the viewers need to be doing as well. Utility trucks are not out moving. There is some power outages here in Jackson County. So far, not too bad, but utility trucks aren't coming to help today. Right now, we are at the point where you need to be somewhere safe and, just sort of be listening out for anything that you can and make sure that you are in a safe area. Of course, the Marion High School shelter is open and it hasn't reached capacity yet, but at this point, you don't need to be on the roads. And you can see behind me that every now and then the wind will pick up and it hasn't been terrible yet. The rain has sort of slowed down for a minute, but it's coming, and here in just a few hours, it's going to look really rough out here, and the wind damage is going to be rough. We are inland, so of course the flooding probably won't be quite as bad, but the wind is still going to hit us pretty hard here in Jackson County. So stay safe. I'm sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Williams live in Jackson County. Thank you. Curfew in Jackson County, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. In Gulf County, the sheriff there mentioning same thing, and probably curfews in other areas.
Several counties have sent us information about curfews. So always remember, mypanhandle.com has all this information. Yeah. Bridges are closed, school is out, and you can probably hear it in the background. It sounds like a freight train. We want to go back over to Chief Meteorologist Justin Kiefer, who is standing by with more on Hurricane Michael as it passes over. Justin?
You're absolutely. Amy, Jerry, thank you very much.
Do you have your mic on there? We don't.
We can hear you in the studio, but I don't think it's going out over the air.
All right. Justin's going to get his mic corrected here. And all right. We'll come right back to you in just a few minutes there, Justin. We'll get that fixed. We have some video, I understand, from the area.
Let's take a look and tell us if you can walk us through this in our ear, and then we'll repeat it to the audience. This is 23rd Street.
Okay,
this is
live
video.
Okay.
Someone's driving down. Who is it? A storm chaser? Oh, this is Severe Studios Storm Chaser on 23rd Street. This is what these folks do for a living. They're in town, and they have allowed us to use their video here. You can see it.
You see trees down as the heavy winds and the heavy rains coming in.
Wow.
Trees are down in the area. And this is going to be a long time before this is.
That's not 23rd Street. That's 15th.
Is it 15th Street?
That's the Dodges right there.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
With a kangaroo.
It is 15th Street. You're correct. I see it now. Yeah, he's driving through. This is what we're doing. We are sending out people who are professionals at this. You stay in and you watch it on the stream or on your TV or listen to us on the radio.
There was some damage there, it looked like, on that building.
We're only, an hour, 2 hours into the really heavy stuff, and we already have damage. So, Justin, we're going to toss it back to you, and this is what you've been talking about for 24 hours or more.
Yeah, we've been watching this very carefully. You saw some of that video. That's 15th Street in Panama City. That's kind of over here on the west side of Panama City. So, and that damage has already occurred, so that was before the really strong winds get here. So Panama City, 15th Street's right about there as you move westward toward the Hathaway Bridge and go over the bay. So that's 15th Street right there. That's where that damage video was from. I can't stress enough, if you're in Panama City, if you're in Lynn Haven, really Panama City Beach, up toward Southport, Highland Park, Bayou George, you've got to be in a safe spot right now. You've got to be in an interior hallway, a closet, a bathroom, away from the windows. Make sure that the walls around you are small, like a bathroom, just 10 foot, less of wall, not a lot of roof over your head, because that's the safest spot of your home. If there's some sort of failure with your home, or if a tree or anything like that, you get more protection with more wood around you, more sticks. So just be there right now in Bay County, down to Callaway and Parker, Springfield, same thing for you. This is the Redfish Point area. This is all Tyndall Air Force Base housing. I'm hoping they're evacuated. I'm sure they are, because that is right now in the 100-mile-per-hour winds at least. The DuPont Bridge over to Parker, and then we're over toward Callaway Point. Callaway Point is right here, and then you're over on Plantation Point, and then you're moving a little further eastward over toward Mill Bayou. So those folks are right now in the midst of it, in the worst of the storm right now. And for some, it will get stronger. As Amy said, it sounds like a freight train overhead. The warning from the National Weather Service would say, take this like a tornado emergency. And what does everybody say when a tornado's coming in? It sounds like a freight train. That's what this sounds like over us right now. The winds still, offshore and onshore, are north of 100 miles per hour. And as we sample the velocity product, we're at 118 to 120, 130. In this area, you're probably still near 140, if not higher. Over the southeastern corner, what's that wind, Sam? Or Jordan?
70 miles per hour.
That was 70 miles per hour on top of the studios right here, nearly hurricane force. And it's blowing kind of due north right now on the western edge of the eye wall. And we're not even in the eye wall, okay? The eye wall is still that core and is wrapping around with 140-mile-an-hour winds on the southwest side. The eye, then the northern eye wall, the northeast eye wall, bringing it with it some tremendous wind. It's just amazing, and we're here. Yeah, so let's go back to the radar data and put it in motion, and let's take a look and kind of zoom out just a hair. I want to kind of keep another look, make sure that the eye is performing as we've expected, which means it's staying on that course. By the way, last report, and the eye wall is just making it to the coastline, the eye still out over the Gulf. Lowest central pressure ever in the Gulf, and lower than Hurricane Andrew. I can't say ever in the Gulf, but lower than Hurricane Andrew at 919 millibars. Has the graphic updated? Hasn't updated yet. Here's a live look right now. It's amazing our stuff is staying up. It's just amazing that we're still looking live. We're looking out toward the south and west. Sheets of rain and wind that's blowing a tropical storm to hurricane force right now on the roof of downtown Panama City. The barometric pressure here is falling rapidly.
Our anemometer is out.
All right.
It's gone. It's at 1 mile per hour. It's gone.
Yeah, it looks like we lost our weather gauge. So now we can no longer update you what's happening here. We can just show you the pictures. And it's just amazing. Let's go back to the radar. And if we can, let's just show. And if we have any more video that's coming out of Severe Studios, you let me know and we'll go to it straight away. Here's a look at that eye. And again, as you extrapolate the center of circulation up, it moves over southeastern Bay County. So the eye is 15 miles wide. You've got about 10 to 20 miles of, well, maybe not 20 miles, maybe 10 miles of extreme 100 to 130 mile per hour winds. You take it as soon as you have it, as soon as you have video coming out of them that's live. And then on the other side, the same thing. So the core is moving up. So that covers all of Panama City. Now there you go. Look at the most recent, and here's live pictures. This is live video from our Severe Studios partners, bringing you up-to-date weather information. So we look at the signs here. So they're on 15th Street, coming up on where 231 splits. So they're crossing Harrison Avenue here. That's Jenks. They'll be on Harrison Avenue in Panama City. We lost the video. Oh, no, it's back. It's just buffering. Well, that's good. So they're probably, they may be, now you know what, knowing these guys, they're heading east. They're going to stay on 15th Street, which is the old 98, and they're likely heading right toward the storm. It looks like the video has stalled. So they're right there at Harrison Avenue. We're down on the south end of Harrison Avenue. They were up on the middle part of Harrison Avenue where it crosses 98. So the northern eye wall is now inland. The eye is beginning to cross the Crooked Island area at Tyndall Air Force Base. So it's just, you know, you'll hear. This is live video?
Yeah, more live video.
All right, get my bearings here. Try to see what that sign is while it's.
That's along 15th out there.
Oh, it's okay. It's still on 15th Street. Like I expected, they're still heading eastward. And they've stopped for a minute. There's a tree that's off to the left that has come down. Was it on 15th Street? No. All right, well, that's okay. That's all right. Just stay with it. If it stays to buffer, we'll stay with it. If not, we'll go back to the Viper radar. All right, take it back. Take the radar back. So you'll hear something coming up in a few minutes, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, that Michael has made landfall. Because the historical perspective is when the center of Michael crosses land, then it will be, oh, Michael made landfall southeastern Bay County at 12:10 or whatever it is. It's got about another 15 minutes to go, so by 12:20 or so. And that will be the time, the threshold, when the storm has crossed the coastline. That'll be the historical part of the storm. But what I'm telling you, Michael has hit Northwest Florida. This is more video live from Severe Studios, our partner, and they are heading eastward on 98, and they're continuing that eastward trek. The brave souls here, they're driving right into the heart of the storm. But that's what they do. That's what they do for a living, is they chase storms. Severe Studios. And they're providing us with this live stream video. Here's some debris, an old tree smashed across the road. They'll probably wind their way through that tree and keep heading eastward. We've seen them chase tornadoes. We've seen them chase hurricanes. And when I say chase it, I don't mean it in a flippant way. I mean, they provide such important information. They show you the ground truth of what's happening with this storm. That's what Severe Studios does. It is not for the lighthearted. It's not for the faint of heart. And those are brave souls. What are we looking at here? We have a new update. They put it looks like the center is across the coast. Put our radar reflectivity up.
Yeah, our anemometer is gone.
Okay.
So
we know exactly.
No, but the last measurement was 71.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
So put the velocity data back up. Oh, that's just that. Okay, I got fooled by it.
Yeah,
that's that section of the data. So sample around the edge of that. Yeah. So we're at 130 to 140 or plus in here.
Oh, yeah.
So that's East Bay, Sandy Creek, Allenton. That's where you are right now. You're under this wind that's in excess of 130 miles per hour. Right now, the northern eye wall is right on Highway 98, Tyndall Air Force Base. The center is just offshore. So when the next Viper scan comes around, this whole thing will jump a little bit. There you go. So part of Crooked Island and part of Tyndall Air Force Base, up here where the drone launch facility is, likely now in the eye. We're back to the Severe Studios video live, and they're continuing pressing eastward. Remarkable stuff here. This is live, and we're showing you it as it happens. And across North Florida, scenes like this are all over the place, with trees and rain and wind that we haven't seen in this part of North Florida ever, in some cases, with a Category 4 hurricane coming down. Looking for, they slow down at times. See, there's a tree here, but look at all the debris under that tree. There's debris all across the roadway, but they continue to drive on. Most of these folks have sort of hardened vehicles, well, he's right in the middle of some strong wind there. Look at the wires going right here. That's amazing. It wouldn't be surprising. See, there's a pole that's leaning over. So they're prepped for it, and they know what they're doing, but it doesn't take away from the severity that they're driving into. So I guess the fairgrounds property is pretty close. Yeah, it looks like we're coming up here. Yeah, the railroad tracks, and then, well, there's some, I don't know if that was part of the railroad signal or not. So that's the fairgrounds. The sign's gone off the Panhandle Fairgrounds. Obviously, you see there's no traffic lights on, power's out. Oh, looks like we've lost that stream. Here's a look right now at the eye of the storm. It is sitting right on the coastline of Bay County. Now think back last night, and even further back, when we showed you the forecast tracks and the spaghetti models and all of the, the computer model projections, and all of them were saying, oh, it's going to come up here toward the eastern panhandle. And check this out. I mean, as well handled in the models as you rarely see. Florence was handled well by some. The slowdown and the intensity was a little off, but the intensity is even stronger than the models show.
It's got to be over 110.
Yeah, we unfortunately lost the ability to check our winds here at the studio, but we can sample the wind. And so look at this here. This is Highway 231 up toward Bayou George. We're over here.
Tyndall Air Force Base is recording 118 mile per hour wind gusts.
Wind gust at Tyndall. So that is at KPAM?
Yep.
At Tyndall Air Force Base on the flight line at KPAM. Their reporting station, 118?
118.
Gust to 118. So that
sustained at 82.
So zoom in on Tyndall. Clear these off and zoom in on Tyndall, because this is a good way to compare what we're seeing on the ground to what we're seeing up in the cloud. The runway and that's the flight line facility right there. So the ASOS is probably right in the middle here. So click the velocity there, and we've got 136. Click it just there's 118.
There you go.
Check that out. So and when you see the numbers in the velocity data in the storm winds, it's making it down to the ground in real time. So this is the deal. This is coming in with winds of Category 4 or higher. Gusts could be higher, because this is just one little spot that had a 118 wind gust. There's many spots that don't have an anemometer that the gust could be higher. It's just one location in the midst of the big giant panhandle that had a wind gust right there at 118. You see, look at this Callaway. So we're right here. Callaway comes out Highway 22, the Weewha Highway. So Callaway Heights, the community center's out here. And then this is Tyndall Parkway. And the curve to the Tyndall Parkway. So there's winds in the cloud, winds in the storm at 134. So at least to 115 at the ground. There's no way around it. My ears just popped.
Our stim says 117 gust in Panama City, sustained at 97. Sustained at 97, gust to 117 in Panama City.
That's at FSU-PC?
Yeah.
So FSU-PC, which is out here on the bay, it's right here at the foot of the Hathaway Bridge. Sustained, again, give me the numbers. Those numbers were 117.
117. 117 was the gust. Sustained 97. Yeah. Did you get that?
I got that.
All right.
And that is a long way away from the eye. All right. So this is the core of those 115 mile an hour winds. Pretty remarkable stuff. I mean, it's mesmerizing.
I bet.
There's an issue. One of the power spikes we had kind of took our ability to control the tower cam off a little bit. I may go off script here for a second. Amy and Jerry, if you take over for a second, I want to see if I can restart that camera, and so we can have control of it.
Of course. Thanks so much, Justin.
Pretty amazing there. Wind gust 117 and sustained 97 of FSU-PC.
And we're feeling it. It sounds like the train is coming over the roof of the TV station. I mean, our building is shaking, and this is an old cement building, and we're feeling it now. It's everything it was promised to be. Dangerous, devastating, and life-threatening.
And just seeing the video, too, and these winds could go higher. This is just starting out. Could go higher. We saw from the severe studio footage traveling east on Highway 98 and how they were trying to encounter the roadways out there with the heavy winds and the debris in the road.
shaking, and this is an old cement building, and we're feeling it now. It's everything it was promised to be.
Don't you
Dangerous,
know? Oh, yeah.
devastating, and life-threatening.
And just seeing the video, too, and these winds could go higher. This is just starting out, could go higher. We saw from the severe studio footage traveling east on Highway 98 and how they were trying to encounter the roadways out there with the heavy winds and the debris in the road.